right, I'm out in the garden here Saturday morning. What is this, March the 5th? Yes, sir. And even here in southeast coastal Georgia, I'm not going to risk planting any summer vegetables until I hit after Easter. But I can start them now and have them go into my seed pots, which I have. And you can grow some, start growing winter vegetables right now. You can go ahead and sow sweet peas, snap peas, cabbages, anything from the cabbage family, broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, all that kind of stuff, kales and various other greens, spinaches, those types of things grow quite well right now in the cooler weather. But and they'll also put up with a mild to hard frost without damaging them. Summer vegetables, not so much. So start them in seed trays, even here in southeast coastal Georgia. Transplant them to the garden when we get to well, after Easter. That's normally when it's safe. Anyhow, I'm out here this weekend and I'm doing something a little different. I've got this hay bale garden that some of you have seen before, and I'm up to about 83 bales now. I have 3 rows of 9 bales. I have 4 square planters that I make out of 4 bales each. That's another 16. I have the inside and outside of both sides of that hoop house or trellis tunnel that I made out of cattle panel. That's 20 bales. And then the rest of the 83 bales make up this little wall I make around that part of the perimeter of the garden. So it takes right around 83, 85 bales to do all of this. And then those are strawberry towers down there. Anyhow, every year what I've done in the past is I've pulled all of these posts and cattle panels out, taken all these strings loose from these trellises here, and I've literally cut all the bale strings and just plowed the whole thing in. But I'm wasting all of this fantastic nutrient-rich composted material from last year's bales. So what I'm doing this year is I'm going to leave all the posts in place, and I'm just going to use my hands with a pair of gloves and my my fork here, and my shovel is needed. So far I've just been able to pick them up in sections about maybe 12 inches wide, 14 inches wide, and just dump them in the wheelbarrow. And I'm taking it all over to that far corner of the garden, not way down there by the white thing, but just there by the pine tree, and I'm piling all of this up to make a big compost pile, because I can reuse all of this. I can use this to fill in the center of my square bales, to fill that up with this compost. I can also use this compost to side dress my fruit trees in the yard, to side dress any of the other plants and planters in the yard, my blackberries, my blueberries, and all of those types of things. I can also use this compost to repot plants and hanging baskets or create new ones. So this is nutrient-rich material. I spent my hard-earned money on these bales and then got tons of vegetables out of them all year long, plus the organic and whatnot fertilizer I put in there. So I might as well reuse it rather than just plowing it into the garden. Now, once I get all of this moved, my next strategy is to install the new bales right back in between these posts and in the locations where I pull all the old ones out without disturbing anything. That way I don't have to rip it all out and put it all back in. It'll save me time. I'll recycle this to something useful, and then I will rip a couple bales loose, well, more than a couple because it's a big space, but I'll rip bales loose and then spread them 3 or 4 inches thick loosely in this area between the rows. And if you notice, other than a few spring weeds popping up here, there just isn't a lot of weed material in my garden. I do almost no weeding in this garden. It's highly productive, almost no weeds, because I take and I bear the expense to take about a dozen bales, cut the strings off of them, take about 12 inches at a whack, and just pull it out and fluff it up and shake it down. And I put about a 3-inch layer of hay between all the rows. Even in these big open areas between the square planters, I fill all this area in with hay, 3 to 4 inches thick. It mats down and it keeps the weeds from coming up all summer long, even into the fall and the next spring. So anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up for now. I'm going to finish taking all of these bales out, putting them in my compost location so I can recycle that nutrient-rich material. And I'm also going to put all of the new bales back in here and start the conditioning process. And then I will refill the open area here up, tamp these weeds down, cover them with fresh hay to kill them. And I just want you to see this real quick. When you get into these bales, look at that nutrient-rich material there. See how dark and rich that is? See how dark and rich that is? Now, as I tear these bales up and then pile them up over in one big pile, all this bale material, the non-composted material from the outside will also begin to compost and break down and just give me a beautiful, beautiful nutrient-rich compost to recycle right back into this garden and anywhere else I need it in the yard. So there you go. Getting ready to get the 2016 hay bale garden underway. We'll keep you posted with more.